The centuries and millennia come and go, but it is stone. It remains and remembers. It remembers the stonecutters and stonemasons in every age. Who carved it out of the mountain and lovingly worked it into a thing of beauty to adorn a holy city. A gleaming monument down on earth to an almighty God up in heaven. It remembers the miracles, the trials, and the tragedies. For it was present, a witness. And the stones of Jerusalem remember the greatest of the many calamities that befell the city, when the Roman legions, with their instruments of war and destruction, marched upon the Jewish capital at its most splendid, laying it waste, slaughtering its inhabitants, defiling its sanctuary, plundering its riches. The battered stone remnants from that time lay sleeping in the earth for 20 long centuries, silently preserving the memory of their antique glory and its inglorious end. Time after time after time, conquest, destruction, desecration, Jerusalem's inescapable fate, and the long-suffering stones, trampled underfoot, dismembered and dishonored, call attention to the long and turbulent past of the so-called City of Peace, for which peace has remained for much of its history, an elusive ideal. And the stone remembers the generations of the dead, Jerusalemites, both rich and poor, sheltering their mortal remains while they await their saviors and their resurrections. The vigil continues, and neither does stone last an eternity. They come to it with their supplications and their prayers. Its pull is irresistible, for they are weak and vulnerable, and it is strong and steadfast and indestructible. And they look beyond it to something far greater. Setting out in days of old from distant lands on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem was akin to venturing into a great and often perilous unknown. Months, if not years away from home. Pirates on the open seas, bandits in the mountain passes, extremes of climate and sheer exhaustion were among the hardships to be endured. Many faltered along the way, their bodies laid to rest in alien soil. The fortunate ones would eventually catch sight of the holy city atop the holy mountain on the far-off horizon, and overcome with emotion drop to their knees to offer up tearful prayers of praise and thanksgiving. In a state of almost dreamlike disbelief, they would make their approach, and entering through one of the gates into the city of God, set foot at last upon the ancient paving stones. These crude etchings and out-of-the-way corners of the city, so very easily overlooked, may well be the only evidence anywhere on earth that these people had ever lived. Scratched into the sacred stone of Jerusalem. For the stone they knew would remember them. be a witness before God to their sacrifice and unshakable faith.